Okay, we're glad you're with us today. As you can see, we'll be talking about more of Georgia's geography. The standard, of course, says that we're going to distinguish among the 5 geographic regions of Georgia in terms of location, climate, agriculture, economic contributions. We're also going to do subset C there, or element C, and we're going to locate the physical features, the important physical features in Georgia. So let's start with the 5 regions, and we'll look at this map. This is a very simplistic map of the state of Georgia, but up top you can't see it, but it says the Appalachian Plateau, and it's just this little tiny corner. And then you've got the valley and the ridge right here, the Blue Ridge, the Piedmont. It's extremely important because that's where most of the population of Georgia lives, in the cities that are in the Piedmont, especially in the city of Atlanta. And then you've got this giant region down here, the largest geographical region, which is separated from the Piedmont by a line called the Fall Line. It's called the Fall Line because there's literally a lot of waterfalls there, and the elevation drops. So this elevation is lower to sea level than the elevation in this region. And you can see that clearly illustrated in this map. So the hotter the color, the higher in elevation you're going. So if you're in green, you're really low to the ground. And as you go up this scale ends here, starts again here, and keeps going, keeps going all the way until it almost turns white. When you turn white, you're, thousands of feet above sea level, which is, as you can see, in this region. So the Piedmont is blue, and it's a little bit higher up, and then it gets dark blue, then there's red, purple, and white, and you're about as high as you get in the state of Georgia, and of course you're in the Appalachian Mountains by that point. So those are some key features there. Along the coast, we've got the barrier islands, and those are important in Georgia's geography because they protect Georgia's coast from hurricanes and inclement weather coming from the Atlantic Ocean. Like I said, this is the Fall Line. A lot of cities developed along this. This map doesn't show those cities, but we have Columbus here, Macon, and Augusta. There were more cities, a couple of Georgia capitals like Louisville and Milledgeville developed along the Fall Line because that would have been as far north as you could have gone on a couple of our rivers. So you have the Savannah River, which is right here, and right near the Fall Line is the town of Augusta, and that's as far as you could have gone by boat, because after that you would have to climb up a waterfall, and of course nobody's going to do that. So extremely important river here, the Savannah River, which is obviously, I don't know if we named the city after the river's named after the city, but here's Savannah, first city in Georgia. And the Savannah River separates us from the state of South Carolina. It's also got a very important river over here called the Chattahoochee. Alan Jackson sang a song about it. You may have heard of it, way down yonder in the Chattahoochee. Well, here is the Chattahoochee River. Being from Louisiana, when I heard that song, I was like, where on earth is the Chattahoochee River? He surely made that up. That's not a real river, but it is a very real river. And you can see that Atlanta developed along and is still on the Chattahoochee River. It flows down and then becomes our border between us and Alabama. For a long time, it flowed all the way down to the sea. It still does, but of course, it's been dammed up several times, and you can no longer navigate it very far, and you certainly can't navigate it all the way from the ocean any meaningful distance. So right now, the Chattahoochee River is important not so much for navigation or trade, but it's important as a water source for the cities that it feeds is becoming increasingly more important as time goes on. Okay, so there's the Chattahoochee. There's a reservoir. There's a reservoir. We've got. I want to learn how to work this TV at some point. Here's a reservoir, 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 reservoir. If you're wondering what reservoirs are, they're gigantic man-made lakes created by damming up a river so that the people around those lakes will have plenty to drink. It's pretty obvious, guys, what the climate is like. The further north you go, it gets a little bit cooler. It's a little less rainier. We get a lot more rain down south than they do up north and in the mountains. Although we do, the whole state of Georgia gets like, on average, a lot of rain, like 60 inches a year. So that's a lot of rain. As a matter of fact, it's raining right now. You have to know where these regions are. You've got to know where the important rivers are. There's only two, the Savannah River and the Chattahoochee River. Pretty self-explanatory. You also have to be able to tell us where the fall line is, and that's not a river, that's just a change in elevation. And you need to tell us where a few very important cities are. So Savannah, of course, Augusta, Macon, Columbus, Atlanta. There's two on here that I have not included. You also have Milledgeville, which is somewhere over here, and Louisville, which is somewhere over here. Those are former capitals of the state of Georgia, and I want you to know where those are. They become increasingly important as we study westward expansion. It explains how they got where they are. All right, pretty simple stuff. And if you have any questions, as always, you can contact me during office hours and the virtual time in the afternoons. Also, I'd like for you to do the reading in the textbook that goes along with the lesson today, and of course, do the quiz when you're ready. Thank you.